Hey guys, Jordi here. I wanted to take this video to explain to you guys the real reason you're self-sabotaging yourself. So the reason you clicked on this video is probably because you've had these moments where you self-sabotage. There's nothing wrong with you. Let me start with saying that because we've all been there. I'm not the Holy Christ himself. I've self-sabotaged myself enough times to finally understand and to give you guys this message and to share with you what is actually happening when you self-sabotage, because it isn't actually a flaw in who you are. It is not just laziness. There is a whole mechanism, there's a whole code running you that is making this happen. It's like a thermostat, and I'm going to explain this to you. I'm going to tie it to identity and alchemy. So let's dive right in. So what is the real mechanism behind it? It's quite simple. You have an identity thermostat in your body. So you have your baseline. Let me draw it like this. You have your baseline identity, right? So this is your baseline identity where you're constantly operating from. Basically, your brain is wired to always pull you back to this baseline identity level. So what is going to happen in life? You're going to have this low point, this low set point that you're going to hit, and you're going to have this high point. So what will happen is, once you start getting results, and we should do a graph, you're moving, you're getting some business results, your business is scaling. What is going to happen? You're going to suddenly realize that you arrive at a ceiling. It's what we call an identity ceiling. At this point, let's say your identity ceiling is set at 10K, right? So what happens is your body will see this as a threat. Of course, there is no threat there, but it's new for you. You will act differently. And what's going to happen, your body will give a signal that you're not used to this kind of level. You didn't stabilize it. It's something new. You might feel like you're getting lucky. And what is going to happen subconsciously, it will draw you back to that identity baseline. I see it happening all the time. When I had my biggest months, I had a 50K month in crypto once. And I didn't realize it happened back then. But what happened was the month after, so let's say I made about 50K that month, right? What happened was I was so used as a trader to making 10K a month that I lost about 40K to come back to my baseline, which was 10K a month. And I didn't realize it. Realize it. But what happened basically was quite simple. So when you hit that ceiling that you didn't know was there, when you actually hit it, you will get like very overconfident, or you might just get lazy. You might be comfortable. You might over risk. You're starting to do things not out of patience, not out of peace, not out of abundance, because your nervous system gets attacked, right? Your nervous system gets attacked. There's a lot of stress, like hype. You feel excited. You might feel lucky, and then we get pulled back by all these things. In this case, we call it self-sabotage, but it could be being lazy. It's just a code that is pulling you back to the baseline. Also, it happens, and that's the positive effect. Let's say we go down here, and you're so used to making 10K a month as a business owner. What will happen if you hit, let's say, 3K a month, right? So you only hit 3K a month. What I noticed when I wasn't performing, this is where people get so motivated to get, so it's like a magnet, right? You should see this middle baseline is our magnet. Let me draw it like this. So this is our magnet level. So what happens is when you go below the set point, when you hit like the 3K or the 50K, whatever, what is going to happen is that magnet is going to start working. And then you have the opposite, the polarity, because everything in life is polarities, right? So you're going to get the polarity of this self-sabotage, which is called insane locked in motivation, that kind of stuff. So you'll do everything to get back in your nervous system to get back to 10K a month. You'll buy more stuff, you'll invest more, you'll push more content, you're going to be more excited on these sales calls, you'll put in more work, whatever, and then you'll suddenly get back to that baseline. So now, what is the key that we actually want to achieve when we're all doing this? The whole key is that we constantly level up our identity. That's why I have so many clients, because everybody at every area of its life needs this stuff. I don't care if you're doing 50K a month, 100K a month, or you're just doing 2K a month. It doesn't matter. You're always going to need this. So what you want to do is this thing that I call identity baseline leveling or maxing, which is something nobody does. But what you want to do, basically you have this one chart where you have your baseline, you have your ceiling, you have your lower set point, you have all these things happening, and you'll be constantly flowing in between them. What you want to create is that your ceiling is going to become the new identity. And from that part, we'll create a new chart, and this ceiling that we had here will become your new identity. So we have this new identity, let's call it new identity. And then we will have a new ceiling, because you'll have to go through this process over and over again, because once you do it once, again, you'll have to do it here again. This new ceiling that we created, this is going to become your new identity. Then we create a new ceiling right here. So this is the thing that's, this is your baseline identity, which can also be called the new identity. So you'll constantly be leveling up towards life. So that's why I know everybody needs this stuff, because I'm meeting a lot of business owners. They're stuck at 50K, 100K a month, and they're constantly fighting this. Constantly, they see it happening. Like, ask yourself the question, how much money are you constantly making every month? So what is the max money you make every month? What is the average percentage of money you are making on a monthly basis? That is your ceiling. So let's say you already make 10K a month, 50K a month, whatever. If you're constantly doing that and not growing, you don't need new systems, you don't need new stuff. The only thing you will need is this chart. You will need to level up your identity. And that's where my work comes in as an alchemist. I work on their identity, their beliefs, stabilize these new levels. That's just basically it. It's quite easy to change this. But I want to give you guys some tips on how to actually tackle this yourself. Okay, so there's 3 phases where you have to go through. The first one is quite simple. You got to be aware. So this is what I call detecting the code in the program. If you don't see it, you cannot change it. The moment you see something, so the moment you can see it, you can change it. That's the base key here. So that's what we do, the awareness. What is your ceiling? What do you believe about yourself? Do an identity audit. If you want to do it with me, you can send me a message, but you can do this yourself, use some AI program. But it's always nice to have somebody who can be a mirror for you. That's why I always used to work with coaches. If you don't have that mirror, it's very difficult. That's what we call the shadow work, the deep work, the nigredo in alchemy, because it's very difficult to do so, because you have this mask that somebody else is not having. So it's always easier to work with someone to see this. So you can already do this yourself. It's quite easy. You just look at all these things, ask the right questions, and then you will find it. So once you have this old code, it's quite easy. We got to install the new code. This is basically what we use in Neville Goddard as thinking, seeing, and acting from within the end. That's what we're going to be doing. We're going to do this. But a lot of people, they stay stuck here. They install the new code. They feel motivated. It's like when I get new clients in the program. They are like 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in. They've seen it. We found it. And then they install the new code. And then they get like really motivated, because like, oh, I get this new code, I get confidence, I'm feeling very good at what I'm doing, blah, yada, yada, yada. But they forget a couple of things, and that's phase 3. Phase 3 is kind of the most important one, because we will need to do a stabilization. If you don't stabilize the new identity, what's going to happen? Resistance is going to show up. So you have this new identity, right? Your new identity. What's going to happen? Not the first weeks, but resistance will show up. When this resistance shows up, what is going to happen? You're going to be triggered to get pulled back to an old identity, or you decide to keep moving on in the new identity. So you have these two that will constantly be fighting whenever we arrive at resistance. So you have old identity versus new identity. So once that fight shows up, stabilization is key, because if it's not stable, you're going to automatically be pulled back to the old identity. Why? Because our subconscious is way stronger than our conscious brain. It's like 40 million neurons getting triggered at the same time in your subconscious brain. But in your conscious brain, there's only like, I don't know by heart, it's like 30-ish neurons activating at the same time. So our old identity is going to be triggered by the subconscious mind. Let me draw a mind behind it. And our new identity is going to be mostly the conscious mind. So we need to stabilize so that our new identity is going to be active in our subconscious mind, so that you will be growing yourself subconsciously instead of self-sabotaging yourself. The whole key of doing identity work and alchemy is so that you subconsciously improve yourself. Wouldn't that be nice? Imagine that. Instead of being lazy, instead of procrastinating, your subconscious mind has going to be trained in this new identity. And if we stabilize that, you're just going to be subconsciously changing your life. You're going to be moving different. Suddenly you're going to skip people. Suddenly you're going to do more without new strategy, new motivation, and that's the key to life and business. If you're gonna do this, watch how your life, watch how your business goes 10x without you putting more effort in. It will be more effort, but you won't notice it. It will just happen subconsciously. That's what we need to do in a stabilization. Because how long you can hold a state, so let me draw this down. Your state is everything, right? So how long can you hold the state? How long you hold the state is gonna determine how successful you are. Imagine if you can hold that powerful, present, abundant state all day long. You're gonna have the craziest business results, you're gonna have the best connections, your personal life, your health, everything overall will grow like this. But if you cannot hold the state, what is gonna happen? Because you didn't stabilize it, and that's the crucial part, what's gonna happen? You'll crash back and fall back to the old identity. But now you can read it, and now you just go again. You move again, and you see, I fucked up, the new identity wasn't stabilized yet. You stabilize it again and you keep going. And once it's stabilized, you will know. So to recap, quite simple. Become aware in the process. If you become aware, if you can see it, you can change it. Then next on, you're gonna be doing the installment of the new code. We're gonna switch into the new one, but be aware, you will be motivated. You will feel the new code installed, but remember, resistance, and here's a small thing, resistance is always going to show up. It always does. And I can tell you so many examples about this. So the resistance shows up. Maybe a sales call doesn't go through. Maybe a business opportunity. Maybe a girl doesn't text you back. Whatever it is. Maybe you feel sick. There might be resistance. What's going to happen if you didn't do step 3, the stabilization, and push that new identity so many times. So if you want to build a new identity, there's 2 easy freaking ways to do it. It is emotional intensity. So emotional intensity plus repetition. Because if you think about it, what happens? How did your traumas get created? Well, what is a trauma? It's an emotional intense experience, right? So that's basically a trauma. Emotional intense experience is a trauma. So that creates beliefs. This creates beliefs because it has strong emotion attached to it. If we have strong emotion, it will create a belief. From that belief, we have an identity that's been created. So imagine you've lost your parents or whatever it may be, or you've been bullied, or you've been a fat guy, whatever. You had the strong, maybe if you've been bullied, it's the same thing. That's how these things get created. So you get bullied. What happens is repetition, right? You get bullied every day as a kid. What happens? You create beliefs from that. What is the belief? I am whatever. I am not good enough. I'm a loser, whatever. So our beliefs get created that we're not good enough. But I have some good news for you because we can create that again with our new identity. We can add emotion. We can add repetition. And this is what's going to become the new identity. That's how it works. That's the equation. We have emotion plus repetition. That's how you do it. That's why we think and feel. That's why you feel from within the end. That's how you manifest as well. And then we create the new identity. And once that is done, we continue. We see resistance shows up. As I'm making this video, there's a lot of fucking resistance because my internet keeps crashing out. So I hope this is going to be a good edit in this video, but I'm having a lot of resistance. I can feel it, but I keep going. I don't care. I'm going to make this video. So the resistance shows up. I don't care. I'm making this video. I'm getting resistance. My Wi-Fi doesn't want to work. It's working again now. So I'm just going to talk a little bit faster before my internet just goes out again. Thank you, Bali. But so what happens is resistance shows up. I don't care. You detect it. You see it as malware, as a virus, right? It's like a virus. It's resistance. But also, it is proof that it's working. Resistance is proof that it's working. If you wouldn't get resistance, you're not growing. So change your mindset about that. So if resistance shows up, it is proof that it's working. Because when there's resistance, you're growing as a person. If you're in the comfort bubble, then you're not growing. So it's quite simple. You have this comfort zone and they have all these areas around, which is what we call discomfort. So there's going to be resistance when you get pulled out of this. Here's where the new identity lies. So if resistance shows up, be grateful. Be grateful. Be like, damn, it's working. I'm getting resistance. I lost some more money. I made some mistakes. Oh, wait, I'm growing. I'm growing as a person. Resistance is showing up. This is interesting. Do I keep moving? Yes or no? And if you really succeed and stabilizing it, well, then you're going to crush it and you're going to improve. So stabilize it. That's the final key. You stabilize it. When the resistance shows up, you keep moving. If you keep moving, there's going to be crazy results. But the reason people fail is quite simple. So what happens is they're building, they're getting resistance right here. It's like in trading, right? You get resistance. What happens is you want to break through that resistance, but it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort because there needs to be buyers to get through this resistance, if we got to use the trading metaphor, right? So what happened is we get a deep correction. We take out all this liquidity. If you're a trader, you're going to think this is funny. We take out all the liquidity to the most final point. We get a market maker model. What happens is finally, you get triggered again. People want to buy here again. You get triggered again to buy again, and then you get back up to here. But this takes a lot of effort. You don't want to be doing this. You want to be going up, 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 up. You see this resistance. The resistance is nothing. It's proof that it's working, that we're going into that direction. And what's going to happen, you might stall here a bit, but you don't make the correction anymore. And once you see that you can keep stalling at resistance, if you stabilize at resistance, you know it's going to break out, right? That's how it works. That's alchemy. That's identity work. That's what I do. It's so insanely easy. If you see it, if you know the protocols, if you know how to do it, this will change your life forever. You will never procrastinate again. You might when the resistance shows up, but you'll learn and you'll move through it, and you will read reality as a mirror of your own internal world, as within, as without. So I hope you guys enjoyed me explaining how self-sabotage works and how you can already deal with it. Now, of course, I couldn't share all the protocols that I use for my clients who pay me, of course, but if this is something you want to do, please do reach out to me. The best way would be to reach out on Instagram. Send me a message if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a trader that's stuck at this level and wants to really work on this with me. If you want to break through these ceilings and just unlock all your potential, I have a few spots left. Just send me a message on Instagram and let's see if you qualify to work with me. Mostly I focus on working with entrepreneurs, traders. So if you qualify for that and you think you need this, please do send me a message. I would love to help you. And of course, as always, please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.